So what's going on today, guys? This is the Croc, and today we've got a gold silver crystal TGBDual Wi-Fi battle. Now I do apologize for a couple of things before we get started. This is a completely different setup for me. I reinstalled a couple of things and I forgot my codecs when recording, so I had to do this narration on Bandicam. So if it's any bit different video type, then that is the reason. So today we've got a gold silver crystal Generation 2 OU match versus Jamarco. And I talk about in a couple of my videos where matchups are very crucial between Pokemon, where they're pretty much evenly matched, and this is that scenario. So let's jump directly into it here. So Jamarco's going to be leading with Squalinto, his Zapdos, and I'm going to be leading with Damagant. Now I know Damagant pretty much can handle Zapdos for the most part, but you're going to see that's not really the case, because the way he's got it set up, it can actually outstall my Raikou, which is very big news. I'll go ahead and tell you the most decisive witness on my opponent's team, or for the prosecution, is this Squalito, this Zapdos, because it definitely has the setup to really wreck me. I definitely wasn't expecting what happened here. So Damagant, just going to spark a couple of times. Either try to get a para, which is really nice. I get a crit, but I don't get the para, and he shows me Toxic, which shows me that if he is indeed Rest Talk, he outstalls me by far. Which is actually technically not the case, because I have more power points than him between Spark and Crunch. But, you know, sometimes it's these small extraneous details that we miss when we're battling. Like I said, I went through a lot of trouble to get this all set up for you guys today. But anyways, back to the match. So I'm going to Spark. I do get a para here. But considering he's going to show me on this very next turn that he's Rest, that really is kind of a null and void turn. Now, I don't know, I'm pretty much using the same team that I used last time. I do have the Belly Drum Lax, so I'm kind of scouting out his team, kind of seeing what I need to deal with, of course, for an optimal Belly Drum sweep, because that, I mean, that's a pretty general thing. A lot of people like Curselax, and I do agree Curselax is pretty fantastic in every way, but the thing about it is, on a more offensive prowess, on something that, you know, plus his defenses or anything like that, it's better just to go straight out +6 and be done with it and deal with things like Umbreon, Charmeleon, and stuff like that. So he's going to show me Wallow Bit the Kangaskhan. Now Kangaskhan is a massive big deal. A lot of people don't think so. It can run Parafusion and Paratraction. It can do a lot of other really cool things, but a lot of times it's Curse, Return, Rest, and Roar. Pretty standard set. It sets up on things. It's not scared of Skarmory, because for some reason, if it comes up against Skarmory that isn't cursing up, which is another reason people started running Curse Skarmory, then it just sets up and roars it out all day and isn't worried about anything, and can rest off its attacks. So I do get the para on the Kangaskhan, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to switch into. I actually go into Muck. I guess the reason I don't go into Skarmory, for whatever reason, is I knew Skarmory couldn't hurt it. Even though I have Curse, I really didn't want to play the Curse War with it. And this does two things for me. It also, it's going to make him reveal a Steel type if he's carrying it, which is this Bagard. I go straight away for the Sludge Bomb. Now, I guess my opponent is like really afraid of Fire Blast, which, I mean, rightfully so. Most Poison types, Mucks, and random Machamps and stuff like that do carry random Fire Blast to hit things like Fortress and stuff like that. So he's going to switch out into D's Nuts, into Executor, and I'm just going to Curse up. Now, this is a really good situation for me. I'm going to tell you why. Number one, let's look at the two case scenarios. Scenario 1, or case summary 1, he goes for Sleep Powder, I'm Rest Talk, so I hit him really hard with a +1 Sludge Bomb. Scenario 2, which I actually go directly for the Sludge Bomb on the first turn, put it in the Psychic, because if he's going to go for the Psychic, it's a 2-hit KO either way, but he goes directly for the Sleep Powder because usually Muck aren't Rest Talk, so definitely the correct play by my opponent. I get brought down to 171, and I'm like, okay, so I've got to go for the Sleep Talk right here. I get the Sludge Bomb off, and that +1 Sludge Bomb, guys, just dominates D's Nuts. D's Nuts are gone. Those Coconuts, the lime and the coconut, it's all over, it's done, it's finished, and down goes that massive threat. So that was a very fantastic situation. That's one of those situations you look at right there. Now, I'm really shocked he didn't go into this. There's only one reason I can think he didn't go into Scarm. He probably didn't want me to know that I had it. Maybe he was saving it for something else that I had on my team. So he goes straight away for the Toxic, predicting my switch, thinking is probably convinced I don't have Fire Blast, considering I haven't used it at all. But I still feel Scarm was an optimal switch even later on, because I was at +1 and could have Whirlwinded me out. But as my boy Necrostevo would say, that's neither here nor there. So we're going to stay in right here. He's going to go out to Garsh, and I am going to double out myself. Dick Gunk Shoe is going to go out into Damon Gant. Now, this is a bad matchup for Damon Gant. Damon Gant can't really hurt Snorlax at all. So I kind of want to scout the Snorlax set to see if I can Perish Trap it, because that's the ideal situation. The best known counter that I know of, other than being 2-hit KO'd by Fire Blast, and some Curse-likes do carry Fire Blast, is of course Ray Shield Skarmory. This is going to start cursing up here, and I either need to A, Toxic it, or B, Whirlwind it. So, that is a thing. But he switches out, which leads me to believe that he's not carrying Fire Blast. He goes out into Zapdos, which I feel like is also the correct play. As you guys have seen, the team structure, Zapdos really royally threatens my team. Now you might say, Vac, you have counters in the forms of Snorlax and Raikou. Yes, that's correct, but both Pokemon can be worn down very, very well, and seeing that he already has a Fortress, I know he's got Spikes. So with Spikes, there's a chance for a 3-hit KO with Thunder after Spikes switch in damage. So that's a thing. And then Raikou's being worn down by Toxic, having to force my rests, and it's just not a good situation. So, anyway, you missed a Toxic. As I switch in Gengar here, he switches out, and I get to mean look this Garsh. Now, no matter how this guy is set up, even if he is indeed Earthquake, I am going to do my very best to Perish Trap this thing, because it's going to be a massive pain in the butt. Because if it has Earthquake, that means it's probably Curse, Earthquake, Rest, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's probably standard Curse-likes, which is another really big thing. Now, I guess what he figures here is Snorlax is less optimal against my team than Zapdos, which he would be correct. On a normal circumstance, my words are all freaking mixed up. Sorry, guys. I worked like 10 hours yesterday, and I'm about to go back to work here in about 2.5 as I'm recording this. But I got about 6.5 hours of sleep. But anyway, without my mind being all cattywampus, distraught, and retarded, I'm trying to Perish Trap this Snorlax because my opponent feels optimally that Zapdos is better. Now, on a normal circumstance, Curse-likes is a major threat to any team. But in this particular case, once both Raikou and Snorlax are worn down by Zapdos and company, Zapdos runs through my team like butter. I mean, it's not even a thing, because I have nothing to hit it with Vaporeon, and a lot of my other threats can't touch it. Skarmory will get destroyed by Thunder, and as you guys have seen, he has Thunder, and my Muck is not at a range with Spikes, and Thunder will also kill it, so that's not good news at all. So I'm going to go back to Damon Gant. Again, I'm just getting worn down by this poison. I know at some point I'm going to need to rest, but the biggest problem is, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, I misplay this Raikou Zapdos matchup so bad. What I'm trying to do, if you guys remember my old Maverick Hunter Vile fight with Houndoom with Rest Talk Crunch, I am pretty much trying to wear this guy down with special defense drops because I don't have Hidden Power Ice. So pretty much at this point with the special defense drops, I can go directly for Spark. Now, one good advantage for our team against the Prosecution is that they don't really have a lot of electrical resistance in the team to my Spark or anything like that, so that kind of helps the paralysis and shenanigans get spread. Now, optimally, looking at the bigger picture of the game plan, we need to get that Skarmory out of commission, whether that's Lovely Kiss, whether that's Paralyzed, it's got to become out of commission. I'm going to go on to my Body Double here. Now, I'm not going to reveal Body Double's set to the Prosecution. What I'm going to do is play it as a Mix-Lax. And the reason I'm going to play it as a Mix-Lax is because right now, it is not in my best interest and it's not safe to try to drum up right now because he's still got Reflect up. So, between I don't want to deal with Thunder Paralysis and extra low HP and then getting either just minimally killed by Thunder's maximum damage roll, or a minimum damage roll that takes me out after a belly drum. So, Reflect Fade, so I know I can freely body slam, and now it is perfectly safe to go for the drum because there's only one or two circumstances, and this is a real, it's kind of a risky play in a way. Fortress still could technically have the explosion, but I could technically, if that was the case, I could simply go into Gengar and whatnot. But I know he's going to probably go into Skarmory after I've drummed because he can just phase me out. So I'm going to Lovely Kiss that phaser because that is going to be fantastic and very crucial in handling this. So he's going to go into Bagguard now. And I'm going to go ahead and drum right here. I'm sorry, I got that mixed up, but the same happened. I would have had Snorlax in. He probably thought I would have been a Belly Drum Lax the way I've stayed in. And I was going to drum and he was going to phase me out. So that's definitely the correct play. So basically he goes with Hidden Power, which leads me to believe he has Toxic instead of Explosion. Spikes, Toxic, etc. Toxic to wear down bulky waters and stuff like that. Although, I have to give credit to Conflict for Giga Drain Fortress because it's very fun. So I'm going to get a useless critical hit on the Fire Blast here. It's going to go down and out of the way. And there's really nothing at this point keeping me from sweeping him with Belly Drum Lax. The reason being, there's really only one piece of circumstantial evidence here, and that's the fact if Shinedown is indeed going to wake up and phase me out. Which, optimally, I guess it's kind of a possible 2-hit KO chance with Fire Blast, but basically what I want to do is, I almost wanted the Fire Blast twice, but I was like, okay, I'm just going to Body Slam twice, because I really don't want to rely. If by chance I miss and he wakes up and phases me out, then I'm basically wasting the potential of this +6 Snorlax. Another reason is my opponent's team is incredibly stally. Couple of phasers, toxic users, really bulky mons, and I didn't want this to become a really big stall fest, so I knew when I saw the team structure and layout I needed to somehow get Belly Drum Lax in here and get him set up. I do score a useless crit on the Body Slam, and now he's down to 2 Pokemon, one of which is paralyzed with Kangaskhan. So Squalinto's only chance here is to Rest Talk into Thunder and either score a crit or para and get a full para. Now, here's the thing. If that does happen, then the rest of my team can really be taken out because Raikou out of the way. That would be my Special Wall out of the way. I won't be able to beat it one-on-one with Gengar. And Vaporeon, Skarmory, and Muck are at no range of help to take Thunder. So this thing is still really massively a problem. But unfortunately for my opponent, the prosecution's case is not going to hold water. They are going to score the Toxic off the Sleep Talk. And that is going to bring out this paralyzed Kangaskhan, which I'm going to be free to go for a +6 Body Slam. I hope you guys have enjoyed this Pokemon Gold Silver Crystal Wi-Fi battle. Like I said, to explain it one last time, it's actually a really close match. I'm going to call it a 1-0 because there's no way that I could have gotten over the other threats in the team with that Zapdos running around with both of my Zapdos checks going. So 1-0 victory there against Jamarco. Very, very, very close. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Rate, comment, subscribe. Peace out. Objection! Find the computer room and peace.